We've all been there. Your heart beats faster, your knees start to shiver. You feel an urgent need to take a leap even if you did 10 minutes ago. Is this a monster? No. Is it a moment right before you confess your love to another human being for the first time? No. It's simply the bloody presentations your pain in the ass teachers make you do in front of the whole class. You know the feeling, don't you? For those of you who don't know me, since I only teach half of you, I'm Markus, and I am one of those pain in the ass teachers. This lecture today will probably, hopefully, I'll say, provide you with tools of presentation, how to do it without wetting your pants in front of an audience. There are some techniques for you to design your presentation. First of all, the preparation. That's also called the scopus. You don't have to know that, that's Greek, and you study English, don't you? Scopus means like scope. You know what scope is? Are you into those first-person shooter games? You would know what the scope is on the sniper rifle? Mm-hmm. And if you manage to pull off the headshot, then probably your scope is very good. So your scope has to be quite good when you do your presentation, and make sure, well, don't shoot your audience, but kind of theoretically, you can aim for the headshots. First of all, you need to consider, to whom do I present? Now I stand here in front of you presenting something because I know who you are students of third grade. I would not say the very same things if you were like a bunch of 70-year-old ladies. I wouldn't do the pissing joke, for instance. It would kind of be unsuitable. So, first of all, try to identify your audience. And your audience are those around you when you are to present your speech later on. Is there a difference in cultural background, age, gender, etc.? Well, you already know for this occasion, but probably this will not be the last speech you will ever perform. Does your audience know already things about your topic that you are to present, or do you have to give the full background? You have to identify those factors before starting. And then, can you relate to your audience? Put yourself in their position. What would they like to hear? What would they need to hear? Like, change place mentally with your audience. That will help your presentation. What is the purpose of your speech? Why do you perform your speech? Because my teacher told me to. No, that's not a good reason. Like, you have something you want to convey with your speech. You want to bring happiness to your audience, maybe strong reactions. You maybe want to declare war upon them, I don't know. But you have a reason for your speech. And don't think about the speech as something to do with school, which will be assessed by the teacher. Try to impress your audience, and then you will impress the Skolverket as well. Because they tell us what you need to know. Technical frames. For instance, I use this. I don't know why. I think it looks cool. No, actually it's for the video camera so that the sound enters there. Do you need PowerPoints, etc.? What equipment is there? What is the size of the room? Do you have to adapt to that? All these physical factors. And, well, can everybody see where you stand? It will not be very good if I stood here presenting the entire topic to you. It will be kind of boring after a few minutes, but I can continue for a while and see your reaction. Are you having fun up there? No, not really. So these are the preparations. You just need to control those factors before starting the design, which is the next part. First of all, when you start off a speech, you need okay. When you start off a speech, you need perfect. You need an introduction. And what is an introduction? Hello, my name is Markus. I'm going to speak about Elvis Presley. Yeah, that was an introduction, but kind of a sucky one. What's a good introduction? Yeah?
You start presenting your subject, what it is about, some main factors, habits, and all the things that can be related to it.
So start by presenting the topic. Elvis Presley, singer and winner of X Golden Records. Layla, you got me on my knees, baby. Catch the audience. How do you do that? that how do you catch your audience? There are some techniques. They will all seem spontaneous, but they're not. You had an idea, Laura? You had an idea of how to catch the audience? Saying crazy things?
Interesting?
Interesting, sorry. Isn't that kind of the same? If it's crazy, it's interesting. You are. Sorry? Provoke them.
Yes.
That's very nice. You'll probably catch your audience by saying, "Hey, you guys suck." But that will kind of also set the level for the presentation, and you will not like what I have to say, whatever I say. But it's better to use the papers I haven't used than those I have used, so I just learned. So you can shock your audience, make them react strongly. It could be by happiness, it could be by fear, it could be by, I don't know, anger. It's up to you. But make them react. That's one way. Another way is humor. You can prepare a joke and make it sound like you invented it when you started. Like the little speech I gave you in the beginning, it was very, very prepared. Maybe you didn't notice. But if you start by humor, your audience will probably react and think, "Hey, that's a funny person." And they will, just because of that, be interested to hear what you have to say. You can also start off with a question. Have you studied psychology? No? None of you? Some of you have? There's something called cognitive theories. Like you need an imbalance in order to create a balance. And if I give you a question cannot exist by itself. It needs an answer, like the yin needs the yang. That's cognition. So if you ask a question to your audience, they will, even though they don't think about it, but they will want an answer. I kind of lost it now, you notice, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, that's why you use manuscripts like these. What was that, a question? Yes, there are two types of questions. There are open questions and closed questions. If you ask a closed question, it will not have any effect whatsoever, like a when question. When were you born? Oh, that sounds like a hilarious guy. No. Where do you live? What do you care? So, who is your best friend? We don't give a shit, do we? No, open questions like, how do you plan to pull this off? Why does it always rain on Thursdays? Really a weird example, wasn't it? But open questions, how questions, why questions, ask them to your audience. And do not ask yes or no questions only, because they can only be answered in two ways, yes or no. So keep it open. Identification is another way of catching your audience. If I start by saying, we have all experienced something, then I tell you that you have something in common with me, and I have something in common with you. So we kind of relate like a big happy family, except for the family part and the happy part. Now, the introduction, once it's established this, you need the body, the contents of the speech. I'm going to do the Elvis Presley thing again. Two bad presentations. One. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on the 8th of January 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. His father was Vernon Elvis Presley and worked as a construction worker. His mother was Ladislav Presley. By the age of 21, Elvis Presley moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where he bought the mansion of Graceland, and he died of an overdose on the 16th of August 1977. That was a fantastic presentation of Elvis Presley, wasn't it? No, it really sucked. Okay, let's do it in another way. Elvis Presley was born 2:10 in the morning on the 8th of January of 1935, son of Ladislav Presley and Vernon Elvis Presley. He moved to Memphis, Tennessee at the age of 21 after his first breakthrough with the song Heartbreak Hotel. And then he died on the 16th of August, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, by an overdose in his home in Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee, 1977. Okay, that was also a lot of bullshit, because you're not interested in knowing these things, are you? No? So my point with this, first of all, don't depend so completely on your manuscript. And secondly, remove all these unnecessary details. No point in showing off. All the facts I said, by the way, were true, so I was showing off there. But there's no need to, because if I were to tell you about Elvis Presley, you wouldn't care when he was born, would you? Or where? Or the name of his parents? No! That's the whole point. And I was telling you with something else in my manuscript. I'm kind of being confused today. So it makes sense. Clear out everything unnecessary. It will make it a lot easier for your audience to follow. And if you have one of those topics that are necessary to present with details, like this happened on that date, and 2 weeks later, because of that date, this happened, present a timeline or something on your PowerPoint, make it visual for your audience. Because if I just stand here giving you lots and lots and lots of information, you will have forgotten 90% of it. So think about your audience. And then the ending of the speech. Deliver your point clearly, but not over clearly. Make your audience think that they are intelligent by delivering half of what you want to say, maybe, and let them figure out the rest. But you control your audience. Show respect to your audience after making your summary or whatever. Say thank you for your attention, something like that. And they're actually there to support you. They're not there because it's not torture. It's listening. So thank them, respect them for giving you their time. When you reach your conclusion or summary, don't start off by saying things like, my conclusion is, or the point of this presentation was to, or to sum things up. It will become quite clear. Sorry? Yep, finally, or as you probably noticed, blah blah blah, something. Don't be over clear. Don't say that you are going to end the speech. They will notice once you stop talking, the speech has ended. They will know. Right, this is the structure of the speech. Now the strategies. What is the worst thing that can happen? Why is it so awkward to present in front of an entire class? Because you might forget what you wanted to say. Has it occurred to you? Have you had nightmares about it? So I stand there, I want to say something, and I don't remember what, and then I stand here and I look like a fool. I personally always look like a fool, but that's not the point. If you just forget a word, a very short word, yeah?
Repeat another word and change your speech according to situation, because the audience doesn't know what you are trying to say. So
you have to be flexible, yes, but it can be hard as well, because you're nervous when you stand there. You remember this dark spot on your trousers? There are strategies. If it's like, I got the word coming, but I can't find it right now. Try this. Excuse me. So you gain 2 or 3 seconds to find the word you're looking for. And it seems very natural. Excuse me. Right? I'm quite sure you have heard that in news presentations on TV. Right? Because they need a couple of seconds to think of what to say. That's one. But that's only if you forget a word or something. I wrote down something, I was so proud of it when I read it last night. Have something prepared as a tool instead of waving a white flag and confessing your shortcomings. That text is going to be on my tombstone. You can joke it away. Everybody will forget something sometimes. As I did here, stood here like a fool, as I always do, by the way. A short trackback, like, and now a word from our sponsors. Woo! You should laugh now. Thank you. That's the kind of reaction you will get from your audience, because they know that you forgot what to say, but you joke about it and make it legitimate?
Legitimate.
Thank you. I won't even try, because I don't make it through words. And along track back, it happens that you completely lose it. Then you can confess. But not I don't know what I'm talking about. That's not a good way. Or, sorry, forgot. Also a bad strategy. A good strategy would be, like, pretend that I'm talking about Elvis Presley again. He made his breakthrough in 1956 with his song Heartbreak Hotel, and his first movie the same year, and that movie was I just need an excuse to find the words I was looking for. So can you pretend I'm saying something really interesting or useful right now? You can practice those lines. I can email you that line. I just need an excuse to find the words I was looking for, so can't you pretend I'm saying something really interesting or useful right now? There's also confessing in a humorous way. It's quite okay. The audience will laugh, but not at you, but at your comments. Transitions. What do you do when you are in transit in an airport? Yes, so you are between flights. And a transit will be present in your speech as well, because you will not talk about the very same thing in the very same way all the time. You will talk about different things, different aspects, and you need transitions between those. There are something called intra-transitions. I don't know if it's called that. I invented that word yesterday, but it seems logic. But between your own paragraphs, intra means within. So when you perform a speech on your own, you have two different things to say. There has to be like a bridge connecting the two parts. A classic line would be, which leads me to the next point. That's a transition, very useful. In this particular project, you will do group presentations. So you will need transitions between people instead. That's inter-transitions, not intra. I usually like to do words. As if you have watched the news, you'll probably hear a presentation of the news, and then the anchorman or anchorwoman will say, and John will tell us more about this. Right, John? Indeed, and not only that, but also, that's like kind of serving the ball to your partner in crime, partner in speech. Another fear that we might encounter when we perform a speech is how to handle a question. What if anybody asks me? I don't know the question. I don't know the answer to that question. That's a fear, isn't it? I'll tell you how to do it. First of all, I'll tell you how not to do it. I don't know. Not good. A good way is to say, for instance, and I quote myself, I am not completely sure. Could I check that to get it all straight and get back to you? The good point is you don't have to get back to that person. You just have to make that person believe that you actually will. Technique. How to make your audience listen. I'll present two rhetorical figures for you. Only two. There are like 15, 20. But two that you can use when you perform your speech. One is called anaphors. It means that you repeat the same words or sounds in the beginning of every sentence or phrase or clause. Like, yeah, I have a dream that on the red hills of Georgia our children will play together. And then again, I have a dream. I wrote a very short speech myself yesterday using anaphors for you to understand what an anaphor is. It is not what you say. It is not whom you say it to. It is not why you say it. It is how you say it. That's using anaphor. Yeah. It is great that reaction. It makes it stick. It made me sound important, even though I don't have the slightest idea what I'm talking about. And then epiphors, the very opposite. You end the clauses or sentences with the same words or sounds. What you say doesn't matter. Whoever listens doesn't matter. The reason you say it doesn't matter. The technique does matter. Another applause. Then there are some other tools. Pauses. I have only one thing to say to you. Pauses are useful. Did I make my point? Yes. So if you have something very, very important, very crucial in your speech to deliver, make a pause. But not too long. When your audience starts snoring, you know that your pause has been too long. You can use your voice level in order to stress certain things. We shall not surrender. We shall not surrender! Quite a big difference, isn't it? Hmm? Your voice is a fantastic... Thank you, Lena. She is my fan club. Body language. If you want to seem confident, walk around. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and therefore, even though I am a boy, I can both walk and think and talk at the same time. I look confident when I walk around. You can practice that. You don't have to be confident. Importance. It is not what you say what matters. It is how you say it that matters. This is the trick. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So, you want to stress something, small step forward, approach your audience. It gives you power, makes you bigger. You know, focus. If you want to take a photograph or something, the closer you are, the bigger it gets. Same effect with you and the audience. If you want to be fiery, and you will not be in this project because you're going to talk about linguistics, but in a political speech, for instance, I think you've all seen Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini. Yeah, they use the extremities of their bodies, their arms. That's Adolf Hitler. That's Mussolini. But they use their arms because they illustrate things. Make sure your facial expression collaborates with your body. It doesn't work to sound angry if you're kind of dead in your face. We will never tolerate this. Doesn't work. Like, we will never tolerate this. Then you have a harmony. So you have to interact with your whole body. And you can plan those things. You can practice in front of a mirror and nobody will laugh at you. Except for yourself, maybe. Now some very precise hints. If you use a PowerPoint during your presentation, make sure your PowerPoint doesn't say the exact same thing as you do. Because your audience is not retarded. They will be able to read and they will be able to listen. They don't need both. So you can present some facts, and you can say the very same facts, but then say it in other words, at least. Don't make your audience idiots. And if you do, probably your PowerPoint picture will be there before you say it. And that's what you would call a spoiler alert, I think. Make sure in your PowerPoint that your semantics, your spelling, your grammar is 100% correct, not 99%. Because if there is one little error, a missing comma, whatever, your audience will focus on that instead of what you want to say. And there's no such thing as cheating in preparing your PowerPoint. So ask a friend, use spell check, ask a teacher, I don't know. Or avoid words, even better. Then you can't misspell anything. A manuscript. This is not your presentation, this is a tool for your presentation. So don't recite, don't stand there reading. Everybody can read. No? Okay. I maybe say that. Many people can read. Correct? Yeah. So you stand in front of your audience, not to read, but to convey some kind of information. This is a tool, this is not your presentation. Keep it invisible, like me. Now I prepared this very catchy ending, because I kind of have to fulfill the criteria I just gave you. Speaking efficiently is not transmitting information. It is a theatre play or a film scene. Plan every single detail, and your film will win an Oscar. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me.